Hello everyone, welcome to my home. Come in, come in. So I thought that I should do a house tour for you guys. I did promise you one. Now we are jumping ahead a bit. I've been vlogging for the last week because I've been in here for 8 days. But I am now filming this after I've moved a few bits in. So it's not completely empty, but you will see the process of that in the next couple of vlogs. But come on in, let me show you around. So welcome to my favorite room in the house. This is what basically sold me the house. This is a hallway. Can you believe? Like, I actually don't call it the hallway, I call it the foyer. Because I like to pretend I'm bougie and because it feels like more than a hallway. Most houses that I've lived in have a long, thin hallway, or my old house in London, the door opens straight onto the living room. So this feels so special that I've even got a fireplace. Look at this in the hallway. By the way, jumping ahead, I have 8 fireplaces in this house and they're all original Edwardian fireplaces. This house has been owned by people for the last, well, over 100 years and no one has ripped out any fireplace, which I just think is incredible. And the main thing I love about this hallway is this cornicing up around here. And of course, the gorgeous stairwell behind me. I don't know what this is called. If any of you know what this is called, let me know because I've never seen anything like this. So this, I think, is the grandest room in the house in terms of the cornicing. None of the other rooms have it. And I think that's because this is where they would receive guests. So they wanted it to look grand and then they would send guests on their way. Only people who were like firmly in the family would get to see the other rooms, which is why they're maybe slightly less decorative. But that's all to say about here. I am thinking of getting bookshelves in these alcoves, 2 armchairs here so people can put on their shoes. In the winter, the fire can be lit, maybe, I don't know. But come with me into the main reception room. Ava's here as well. So this is the living room or the drawing room or I don't know. What did my dad call it? I don't know. There was one of the rooms my dad was like, this is probably traditionally the morning room. And I'm like, I love this. I know the haters are gonna hate me calling them grand names. But let me live my Edwardian fantasy. Do you know what I mean? This is the drawing room. So this room has gorgeous big bay windows here, which let in loads of light. And yet again, another gorgeous original fireplace. It's got a little bit of damage down in the corners. That stone in there, that hearth is sort of cracked. I would like to reinstate this hearth, pull the carpet back, put a hearth in place, maybe a fender. I don't know if any of you know what a fender is, like the sort of grate, and it usually has like a leather seat on it, so you could just perch on it. But I don't know if I'll have much room. I am jumping ahead slightly in saying this because I want you to watch the vlogs, but I have got a sofa, but ignore all the decor in here. I'm still moving in. None of this is permanent. The old owner, before selling it, painted everything white and laid grey carpets pretty much everywhere. I think that was to sell it. Maybe she was covering up some stuff, but I'm not going to keep the grey carpet, but it's so good to have for now because I've moved in and there's new carpet everywhere. One other feature to show you is this servant bell. So lots of the rooms have a servant bell, which doesn't work, so I need to get it reinstated. In fact, let me show you where the servant bell connects to. So we're skipping through the hallway, we'll skip past this room into what is currently my makeshift kitchen, but just ignore this. You'll see the process of this and I'll explain in other videos what I'm doing in here. But just to quickly give you a hint, this kitchen in this house is, in my opinion, not usable. So I'm creating a makeshift kitchen in here. But if you come in and turn around, you will see the servant bell, which has the landlord special of painting it in white. So this would be a screen here, which would tell her where in the house the bell is being pressed. So I want to get that reinstated, but that means that this was the servants' quarters. So what this would have traditionally been, I think, is the servant would have lived in here, her bed would be in here, her chair would be in here. We've again got another original fireplace. Ignore our coffee and cake, we've just been catching up over coffee and cake. And then when the bell would go, she would know where they were calling and then rush off there. This is just a little pantry cupboard, which I might make into a downstairs toilet with access from the hallway. But she would live here because it would be right next to the kitchen, which, as my members know, is the worst room in the house. I have posted a members video last week all about the worst room in my house. And this is the one that I'm embarrassed to show you guys because it's why I could afford the house. If the house was all completely done and ready, I wouldn't be able to afford it. So please excuse this kitchen, but this is it. It's very, very small. And it begs the question of like, why did Edwardians build such a small kitchen for such a large house. Who knows? But it's got an old, I think, gas cooker. It feels quite dirty in here. Initially, I was like, oh, we'll scrub it clean and it will be fine. But it just, my parents agreed when we came in, were like, actually, it's just got a feeling of like it's beyond sort of repair at this point. And mainly because of what's behind me. So it's going to be a tight squeeze, but I'll let you go in. There is a toilet attached to the kitchen with a door out to the garden. It basically feels like an outhouse. Oh, my cameraman has just fallen through the floor because this is the other worst thing. Let's turn around. Look at this moldy hole in the floor right by the kitchen. Disgusting. I mean, I knew this was here. My dad, who's a structural engineer, did the survey on the house. So this isn't a surprise. I knew what I was buying, but it does make me not really want to use this kitchen. I kind of just want to shut that door and forget it exists because it just feels not right, not nice. So come with me and watch the step, watch Ava. There's trip hazards everywhere in this house. So the plan is, and I'll run through this in future videos in great detail, but basically this is going to become the kitchen one day. I think what I'm going to end up doing is ripping out this kitchen and getting a new kitchen in there. So the plan is to rip out that toilet, knock through that wall to make it one room, and make that my temporary kitchen. And I say temporary in inverted commas because it's hopefully going to be very nice and it will be done all new and modern, but it will eventually function as my utility room, laundry room, dog wash for Ava, and then this will become the proper kitchen. But I don't have the funds, sadly. I spent all the money on getting the house, so I don't have the funds to do a full-on kitchen renovation right now, not of this size, but I could potentially afford to do. I just need to get a builder out and get a quote for things. But I think I can afford to make that small room at the back a kitchen, which will eventually turn into a utility room. But that's the plan, but let me know what you would do. Follow me this way, again, back into the foyer, the grand hallway. Down here is just where the electricity meter is. I'm gonna put a cupboard door on there and it could be like a coat rack and shoes can be kept in there. So this is going to be the dining room, I think. Another lovely big room with double height ceilings. It's got picture rails, cornicing. As you can see over here, the cornicing has fallen down in the past. So I'm going to get someone who is a specialist in historic properties to come and take a mold and replace that. I should point out, this is the most hideous of the original fireplaces in the house. But I actually also really like it. Like, I don't know what it is. I can acknowledge when something is like, I would never choose this and I think it's ugly, but I also just think it's beautiful because it's original and it's been here for over 100 years. And clearly it was probably very trendy at the time, but it is ugly. And one thing I can't help but notice is that there are penises all over it. And I told my mum and she was like, oh, I hadn't noticed. I told my friends who are visiting me today and the first thing they saw was penises all over the fireplace. So this is known as the penis fireplace. I don't know what I'm going to do in here, but this is double doors out onto the garden. These are original doors, but they're not double glazed, so it might be a bit cold in winter. Don't know what to do with that. And I currently don't have any furniture really in this house, bar like some of the bare minimum, like my bookshelf that currently is functioning just as a dumping ground. I need to get a dining table and chairs. And I basically every room needs so much work, guys. So it's pointless me even saying it. I do like the furniture on the doors, this door furniture, should we call it? The doors do also need a little bit of work restoring. I might end up stripping them all, filling all the gaps, getting them repainted and keeping this door furniture, for want of a better word. Now let's go upstairs, shall we? Follow me. This stairwell is so huge. The ceiling up here is absolutely ginormous. And I think the plan is to get a lovely chandelier that comes and hangs down. Got to make the most of the space. So we're going to begin in the master bedroom, which is my bedroom. It is currently set up, but before I take you in there, ignore the furniture. This is not the final look. I'm just trying to get the house livable so that I can move in and then I can make decisions on decor and furniture properly. So ignore the style of it, but come in, come in, come in. I haven't slept here yet, but this is going to be my bedroom. It's over the living room, beautiful bay windows. I have put these up at all the windows over the last week with my mum, just for some privacy whilst I decide what I want at all the windows. I might want shutters, I might want curtains, might want blinds, but I don't know yet. So these were £15 from IKEA. and we fitted them at every window just so I can go, I've got privacy here, it's fine. My mum and dad got rid of their bed and bedside table set, not for me, but they got rid of it just because they were upgrading their furniture, and they were like, would you like this to tide you over? So I said, yes, please. However, I did see a bed, like my dream bed, on sale, so I have bought it. So next week, this is going to be moved into the guest room to tide me over for a bit, and then I will hopefully have my permanent bed frame next week. Again, a lovely original fireplace. Why don't we take a shot every time I say original fireplace in this video? Then you'd be taking 8 shots. Lovely green tile here. And I did buy this antique chest of drawers, which again, you'll see in another video. This is, I think they are Edwardian, which is what drew me to them because my house is from the Edwardian period, not quite Victorian, very specific amount of time. So I was like, I want it. So I got it, but these woods obviously don't match. I will at some stage maybe get some fitted wardrobes. I'm not sure. As I said, budget constraints. I need to learn what to prioritize and, you know, what can be done much later down the line. Let's go into the next room. So we'll cut straight across the hallway into the room with my absolute favorite fireplace of them all. I just think it's so stunning. I love the tiles of this fruit tree, and it's in really good condition. They haven't been cracked at all. So I was tempted to make this my bedroom because it's at the back of the house, overlooks the garden. It's a lot cooler in this room because it's the height of summer than the bedroom at the front with the bay windows, but it is a bit smaller, and I love the fireplace. But I decided, no, I'll give my guests this room, and it's got, oh, not this side, this side, servant bell. There we go. Weirdly, I think my room doesn't have a servant bell, so I might have to get one in, put in. And then when my mum stays here, she can go and live in the servants' quarters, and I can just buzz the bell and she can come and serve me. That was a joke. So next we will go over here, which is a smaller bedroom. This is the fireplace in here, which needs a bit of work. It's not in the best condition. So this room is going to become, at some stage, the family bathroom. So this house does not have a big bathroom, which I will show you in a second, and you will understand why. So I'm going to go from a 4-bed house down to a 3 because I need a family bathroom. Some people will say that that will devalue the house because you're taking away a bedroom, but anyone living in the 21st century will look at a house and go, oh, we need a big family bathroom. We can't just cope with a small bathroom. So I think it will add to the property value. But anyway, I'm not even thinking of that because I'm going to live here for, I think, at least the next 10 years. This is going to become the bathroom, and I will show you the reason why. This was very common, I've heard, back in the day, having a separate toilet, which is not in great condition, although there is an original cistern up there. It's not plumbed in, but I might see if I can restore that and get that put in somewhere in the house. And it's separate from the bathroom. Now the bathroom isn't in too bad a condition, but it's not necessarily to my taste, and it is a little bit tired, and it's not the best setup. There's not much storage, so I've had to buy a storage cabinet from John Lewis. This was £150 new, but I got it for 81 because it's the ex-display one. So I'm in my bargain hunting era, guys. I've gotten some really good bargains for the house, which you will find out in later vlogs. The plan here is to block up these 2 doors, knock it into one room, turn it into an ensuite for my bedroom. So it would knock a door through here. So then this would be my ensuite, and then that would be the family bathroom. So that is the plan. But again, these are really grand plans that, does Joel have the budget for it? No, he does not. So it'll be at some point in the future. And the final bedroom, this is the second smallest, I'd say, is going to become my book nook, my library, my studio, my study, my office. All of the above. Basically, I want floor-to-ceiling bookshelves in here. I want an armchair and a table and a lamp. I want it to be quite dark. I'm thinking a dark green in here. Maybe a desk in the corner. I will have tripods and cameras in here, all sorts. So this will be where I work from. However, I would like to have the capacity to have a full house worth of guests. So I might look for maybe a sofa bed or something instead of an armchair, and the same for that room at the back that's gonna become a bathroom, just because it would be nice to have the space to host more than just one person or a couple to stay in the guest room. But as you can see, it's filled with boxes. I don't know what to start with, guys, really. This one feels like quite an easy one to do. It's just a bit of paint, some bookshelves, and buying some furniture, and that would get me up and working. However, the kitchen needs doing, the bathroom needs doing, the bedroom, I want to get my bedroom nice and done. What do you think? Where do you think I should start? But before we wrap up this video, I'm sure you're thinking, what about the garden? Which is Ava's favorite place. So let's go down there and have a look. Head down the hallway. The first thing I think about when I go inside a house is, where is the Christmas tree gonna go? So let me know in the comments where you think one would go. I think an obvious choice is the big bay window down in the living room in here. But also I think one in this entryway would be quite nice. But I don't know, we've got maybe tie garlands over this wooden stuff by the stairs. I don't know, let me know. Let me just see, is the keys? Yeah, the keys aren't there. So you access the garden through here. I haven't opened those dining room doors yet, just because I'm a bit scared. The garden's a bit of a state, just a warning. And there's work being done, so I apologize for the noise. But we've got a patio area down here, which we've started stripping ivy that was climbing the walls. And then this is basically it. It's a bit wild, it needs taming. There are 2 garden sheds. The roofs have caved in and it's filled with like bikes, paint, all sorts. So I want to get those cleared and done. If you follow me this way, so this is the access to that toilet at the back of the kitchen, which is not great. And this is where I foresee having a beautiful little patio area so that every morning I can come out here with a coffee and sit on table and chairs. I say every morning, every summer morning or autumn morning. Throw those double doors open, it will be so nice. I have been cutting some of the grass, which you might have seen in this vlog where I was announcing the house. Me and my mum were sort of trimming and everything, but I think ultimately I'm gonna need to kind of dig most of the lawn up and then lay fresh turf because it's quite uneven, so I need to like get it raked and made level. The other thing I'm so excited about, guys, is I have a fig tree in my garden. I've inherited 2 fruit trees. If any of you have been following me for a long time, you know I have an apple tree, I have a pear tree, and I have a cherry tree, and they're my pride and joy. I now have a fully grown cherry tree and a fully grown fig tree in my garden. So it's almost as if it was meant to be. This house knew that I was a fruit tree fan. But that's it, let's go back inside and we'll wrap up this video. So that concludes the house tour. What do you guys think? Nice comments only, please. I know it's a big project. I just cannot believe that this is mine and all mine. Like, no, I don't mean that in like a gloaty way, but I bought a house with my friend in London a few years ago, and that felt like a really big moment because we got on the property ladder, but it was with my friend, and then I lived with my partner at the time. And so now to have this, and I'm like, oh, this is all from me and my hard work. It just feels, it's a really proud moment. So I've been trying to enjoy that and soak that in, because I have been getting very stressed out at everything that I need to buy, everything that I need to do, money, everything, because I know that this is going to be a bit of a money pit, but it's something that I've always wanted to do. It's something that I enjoyed doing in London, having a house to spend time and money on, because let's face it, I am a bit of a hermit. I've been very sociable recently, but I think now that I've got my house, I'm going to hunker down for a bit, and especially coming up to autumn and winter, I'm going to spend all of my time here. So I'm very excited. Thank you so much for coming along on this journey with me, especially if you've been here since January and all the support you guys have given me since the breakup, because it's been very hard and very tough, but I feel like I've emerged the other side, bigger, stronger, better, happier. And yeah, I'm just thrilled that I've got this new journey and that you're here with me. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you're new here. I post videos twice a week at the minute. There's loads of videos still to come. So please tune in, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Oh.